After turning 60, life often takes on a new perspective. It's like you're given a fresh chance to understand what truly matters, not just in terms of achievements, but more importantly, in how you want to spend your precious time. The things you once thought were important start to fade into the background. What you begin to realize is that your personal well-being, the peace of mind you've been seeking, and the quality of the relationships you nurture hold much more value than anything else. I've personally felt this shift over the past few years, and I'm excited to share these insights with you today. If you're in your 60s or even approaching that stage, I believe you'll benefit from these small but powerful changes. They aren't quick fixes. They're profound shifts that will help you live more intentionally and with greater fulfillment. These changes have brought me not just joy, but peace of mind and satisfaction. The differences these changes have made in my life are immeasurable, and I truly believe they can make a difference in yours, too. In this video, I'm going to talk about 11 things I've quit doing and how letting go of them has transformed my life. If you're ready to embrace a more fulfilling life, these steps might just be the key. But before we dive into the details, let me briefly introduce the core idea. After 60, it's time to quit holding on to outdated habits, mindsets, and routines that no longer serve you. By quitting those old habits, we make room for a more intentional, fulfilling life, one that brings greater peace and well-being, physically and mentally. Now, I want you to think for a moment. What in your life are you holding on to that might be stopping you from living fully right now? As we go through each of these points, I encourage you to reflect on what might resonate with you. And please, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear from you and learn what changes you might want to quit to improve your own life. So let's begin. The first thing I've quit doing in my 60s is quitting work for the sake of work. When we hit our 60s, many of us begin to reassess our relationship with work. For years, we chased promotions, deadlines, and the next big thing because we were told that success meant more work. But as we age, it's time to ask, what's truly important? At this stage in life, we often realize that prioritizing our personal well-being over the never-ending hustle might just be the wisest choice. In our younger years, we focused heavily on financial success. The pressure to work harder, longer, and faster often overshadowed everything else. But now it's about more than money or titles. The shift happens when we realize the real value lies in meaningful life experiences. Whether it's spending time with family, indulging in hobbies, or simply enjoying peace and quiet, these moments carry far more meaning than the daily grind. I can't tell you how many times I thought, I'll slow down once I reach this milestone or this amount of savings. But once I stopped working just for the sake of work, I found a whole new sense of freedom. Quality time with loved ones, especially in these later years, becomes so much more precious. After all, when you're caught in the hustle, you miss out on those intimate moments that matter most. So, my advice to you, if you're still stuck in that cycle of work for the sake of work, is it's okay to take a step back. It's not about quitting work entirely, but it's about finding balance. Let go of the need to constantly chase success and instead, focus on creating a life that brings you joy. At the end of the day, we're all just trying to live in a way that's meaningful and fulfilling. And sometimes, quitting the grind is the best decision for your peace of mind. 2. Quitting mindless spending. Money has always been something we think about whether we have it or don't. And for so long, spending it seemed like the answer to feeling good or keeping up with what others are doing. But at this stage in life, we start realizing something important. The things we buy don't bring lasting happiness. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that new things will make us feel better. That new gadget, that pretty piece of clothing, or the latest upgrade. Each seems like it could be the key to more joy. But over time, it becomes clear, material things don't fill the deeper needs we have. Instead, what really makes life fulfilling are the experiences that we create. Simple moments spent with family, a quiet afternoon in the garden, or the joy of revisiting an old hobby. All of these are far more precious than the fleeting satisfaction we get from buying things. When I look back, I realize how many things I bought just because they were convenient or because I thought I should have them. But today, it's different. I focus more on what truly matters. Spending time with loved ones, traveling to places I've always wanted to visit, or investing in experiences that make me feel alive. The shift is about being intentional with how we use our money, not just on things but on moments that will give us memories to cherish. It's about choosing quality over quantity and deciding that we don't need to keep up with the latest trends, especially when they don't bring real happiness. 3. Quitting stressing over the small stuff. Life can feel overwhelming at times, especially when we're focused on things that, in the grand scheme, really don't matter. We've all been there. Getting upset over something small, like a messy room, an argument that wasn't really important, or a minor inconvenience. But at this stage in life, we realize that stress over the little things just isn't worth it. I used to spend so much of my energy on things that, looking back, were just distractions. A messy house, a forgotten appointment, or a mistake that seemed huge at the time. These things would weigh on my mind. But now I've learned to let them go. There's a wisdom that comes with age, a realization that life is too short to sweat the small stuff. One of the best changes I've made is learning to pick my battles. Not everything needs a reaction, and not everything needs to be perfect. If the house isn't spotless, so what? If I'm a little late for something, that's okay too. The real question is, will this matter in a week, a month, a year? It's all about perspective. I've learned that peace of mind is far more valuable than stressing over every little thing. And for me, that means focusing on what truly matters: my health, my relationships, my happiness. The rest? It'll fall into place. And you know what? It feels so freeing to let go of those unnecessary worries. I encourage you to think about your own life. Are you stressing over things that really don't matter? Letting go of that stress opens up room for more joy, more peace, and more clarity. 4. Embracing imperfection. I focus on the things I can control and make peace with those I can't. When challenges arise that are beyond my control, I remind myself that worrying won't change the outcome. This change in perspective has been incredibly freeing. It's allowed me to focus my energy on what truly matters and approach life's challenges with a greater sense of calm and balance. Learning to embrace imperfection and the unknown has been a crucial part of my journey. In the past, I would work hard to make everything perfect, believing that was the key to success. But I've come to understand that life is unpredictable and often messy, and accepting this truth has brought me a profound sense of peace. 5. Quitting neglecting self-care. As we move through life, it's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle, constantly taking care of everyone else or focusing on external responsibilities. But here's the truth. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's essential. When we neglect our own well-being, everything else in life starts to suffer. It's like trying to pour from an empty cup. You can't give your best to others unless you're taking care of yourself first. I've learned this the hard way over the years. There were times when I put myself last on the list, thinking I didn't have time to care for my own needs. But now, I realize that self-care is the foundation of everything. Without it, you can't truly enjoy the moments that matter, or be present for your loved ones. Self-care doesn't always have to be a big, expensive thing. It can be something simple, like taking a walk in nature to clear your mind, or sitting down with a good book for just a few minutes of peace. Meditation, gratitude practices, and physical activity are all great ways to reconnect with yourself and nurture your health, both mentally and physically. One thing I found really helpful is taking a moment each day to reflect and practice gratitude. It doesn't take much. Just a few minutes to think about the things I'm thankful for helps shift my mindset and set the tone for the rest of my day. It's such a small act, but it makes a world of difference in how I feel. When we prioritize our own health and happiness, we can show up as our best selves in all areas of life. Your health is your true wealth, and without it, nothing else matters. Whether it's taking time to exercise, eat well, or simply relax, self-care is an investment in your future happiness and well-being. 6. Quitting overcommitting to others. At this stage in life, it's easy to feel like you need to be everything to everyone. We want to be there for our family, friends, and community. We say yes to every invitation, every favor, every request. But here's the thing, saying yes to everyone else means saying no to yourself. And as we get older, we start to realize that our time and energy are precious. We can't give all of ourselves away without sacrificing our own well-being. I've come to learn that it's okay to say no. In fact, it's necessary. The key is not to overcommit to things that drain you or make you feel obligated, but but to choose commitments that bring you joy and align with your values. Saying no doesn't make you selfish. It actually frees you up to say yes to the things that truly matter. In my own life, I've had to take a hard look at the things I was doing just because I felt I had to. And you know what? When I started setting clear boundaries, it was like a weight was lifted. I began to spend more quality time with the people who truly mattered. My family, my close friends, and I could focus on the activities that made me feel fulfilled. It's important to recognize that not everyone will understand or appreciate your boundaries. Some people may even feel hurt or upset when you say no. But that's part of the process. You can't pour from an empty cup. Prioritizing your own well-being doesn't mean you love others any less. It just means you're taking care of yourself so that you can be the best version of yourself for the people who matter most. So, ask yourself, are you overcommitting to things that leave you feeling drained or resentful? Are there areas in your life where you could set healthier boundaries? It's not easy, but I promise that by learning to say no, you'll find more time and space for the things and people that truly bring you joy. Remember, you're not obligated to do everything. Your time is valuable, treat it that way, and you deserve to live a life that's balanced, not overwhelmed. 7. Quitting unhealthy relationships. As we grow older, the people we surround ourselves with become even more important. In our younger years, we might have been more focused on quantity, how many friends we had, how many people we could impress. But now, in our later years, quality matters so much more. I've learned that it's okay to let go of relationships that drain you, whether they're toxic friendships, negative family dynamics, or anything else that doesn't contribute positively to your life. It doesn't mean you have to burn bridges, but it's okay to step back from those who aren't supporting you or who leave you feeling worse about yourself. Healthy relationships are about lifting each other up. They're about support, mutual respect, and understanding. Over the years, I've come to realize that I don't need to surround myself with people who don't respect my boundaries or who are constantly negative. Instead, I've chosen to invest more in relationships that nurture my soul. Those that encourage personal growth. Those that are filled with love, laughter, and understanding. There's an emotional energy we give to others, and just like your time, it's something you can't get back. If you're constantly pouring yourself into relationships that are unhealthy or one-sided, you'll find that there's very little left for you. And that's where I used to get stuck. I was spending so much energy trying to fix relationships or keep people in my life who weren't adding anything positive to my world. Letting go can be hard. We might feel guilty or afraid of being alone. But the truth is, when you clear the space that toxic relationships take up, you open yourself to more meaningful connections. It's not about being lonely, but about creating room for the kind of people who truly deserve your time. So, ask yourself, are there any relationships in your life that are holding you back or causing more harm than good? It's time to choose your peace over the noise. You deserve to be surrounded by people who uplift you, encourage you, and bring joy into your life, not stress or negativity. Letting go of unhealthy relationships might be one of the hardest, but also one of the most freeing things you can do for your mental and emotional well-being. It's time to let go of what no longer serves you so that you can make space for the love and positivity you truly deserve. 8. Quitting procrastination on personal goals. One thing I've realized over the years is how precious time really is. When you're younger, it can feel like there's so much of it ahead of you. But as we grow older, it becomes clearer that time doesn't wait for anyone. And this truth has pushed me to take a long, hard look at the dreams and goals I've been putting off for so long. Procrastination can be a sneaky thing, can't it? You tell yourself, oh, I'll start tomorrow, or I'll get to it next week. Before you know it, months, maybe even years have passed. And the goals you once thought were important, well, they're still sitting there waiting for you to make a move. I'm here to tell you, it's never too late to start. The urgency that comes with aging shouldn't scare you. Instead, it should inspire you to take action. Whether it's finally picking up that hobby you've always wanted to try, writing that book you've been thinking about, or simply getting healthier, don't let fear or self-doubt hold you back any longer. Here's the thing. I know it's easy to think, I'm too old for this or it's too late to start now. But in reality, it's actually the perfect time. The wisdom and experience you've gained over the years can be your greatest asset as you work towards your goals. Plus, you have the freedom to choose what matters most to you now. No more distractions, no more pressures from the outside world. I remember when I started pushing myself to write again. It was something I had put off for years. I kept thinking I'd wait until I had more time, or until I was better at it. But finally, I had to make a decision. Either I start now or I never do it. And I chose to start. Sure, it wasn't perfect, and it took time to get into the rhythm, but I'm so glad I didn't wait any longer. It doesn't have to be a huge, life-changing goal either. Start with something small. Take one step forward, even if it's just a small one. That might be signing up for a class, setting aside time to work on a project, or simply making a plan. Action, no matter how small, is better than inaction. So, what's one goal you've been putting off? Maybe it's something you've always wanted to do but thought you didn't have the time or energy for. Let this be the reminder you need. Start today. Don't wait for the perfect moment. There's no such thing. The perfect moment is right now. Time moves fast, but you have the power to make the most of it, starting with one small decision to take action. 9. Quitting the fear of change. Change. It's a word that can stir up a lot of different feelings, especially as we get older. Many of us have spent years building a life we're familiar with, one that feels comfortable and secure. The idea of change might feel unsettling, like it's pulling us out of a place where we've found stability. But here's the thing, growth comes from change. I know it's easier said than done. When you've lived a certain way for decades, the thought of stepping into the unknown can feel overwhelming. Maybe you've avoided making changes because you're scared of the uncertainty. I get it, but here's the truth. Resisting change often holds us back from experiencing new opportunities, and it can actually make life feel smaller over time. Take a moment and think about how many times in your life you've faced something new, something different, and how, despite the fear, you found your way through it. Maybe it was a new job, a move to a different place, or a new relationship. It's not always easy, but change doesn't have to be something to fear. It can be something to embrace. I've realized that sometimes the fear of change is tied to the comfort of familiarity. But let's be honest. Isn't it the unexpected moments, the new experiences, the new faces that often bring the most joy and growth? Even if it's a little scary at first. I'm sure you've heard the saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But that's just a saying. The truth is, our capacity to grow and change doesn't diminish with age. In fact, the later years of life can be a perfect time for embracing change. You're no longer tied to the pressures of needing to prove yourself. Now is the time to embrace what truly matters to you. Whether that means learning something new, exploring new passions, or even letting go of things that no longer serve you. Think about the people who are admired for their resilience and vitality in their later years. They're the ones who take on new challenges, step into unfamiliar territories, and find joy in reinvention. They don't fear the unknown. They see it as an opportunity. Change doesn't always have to be dramatic. It can be as simple as altering a routine, trying a new activity, or even adopting a new way of thinking. Start small. Change can be as simple as saying yes to something you wouldn't have considered before or trying something new every day. It could be something as simple as adopting a new hobby, joining a social group, or even just changing the way you spend your time. Remember, it's okay to feel a little nervous. Change can bring discomfort, but it also brings the possibility of growth, learning, and renewal. Don't let fear hold you back from stepping into the next chapter of your life. Take that first step. Embrace change and watch how it opens new doors for you. Doors you might not have even known were there. 10. Quitting irregular sleep patterns. We all know how important sleep is. Yet as we age, it becomes easier to let our sleep habits slip. You might find yourself staying up late for no reason or waking up in the middle of the night and not being able to fall back asleep. Over time, these irregular sleep patterns can affect our overall health, mood, and productivity. But here's the thing. Sleep is one of the most important gifts you can give to yourself at any age. I used to think that staying up late or waking up early didn't matter too much, especially if I didn't feel tired the next day. But what I've realized is that a lack of consistent sleep can have a huge impact on both your physical and mental well-being. When we don't sleep well, it affects everything: our immune system, our memory, our energy levels, and even our emotional state. It can make everything feel harder, from concentrating to just getting through the day. It's so tempting to binge-watch TV shows or read into the late hours of the night. But what I've learned is that a good night's sleep isn't just about the hours you spend in bed. It's about creating a routine that helps you feel truly rested. It's about consistency. Having a set bedtime and wake-up time helps your body's internal clock, your circadian rhythm, stay in sync. When that happens, your sleep quality improves, and you'll wake up feeling more refreshed and energized. Start by focusing on your environment. Make your bedroom a sanctuary. Keep it cool, dark, and quiet. You might want to try soft music or a white noise machine if outside noise keeps you awake. Putting away your phone, computer, or other screens an hour before bed can also make a big difference. The light from screens signals to your brain that it's time to be awake, which makes it harder to fall asleep. If you're struggling to fall asleep, you can also practice relaxation techniques like deep breathing or gentle stretching to help calm your mind. Another key thing is to avoid large meals, caffeine, or alcohol too close to bedtime. These can all disrupt your sleep, leaving you tossing and turning through the night. It's all about creating a peaceful, soothing routine before bed, so your body knows it's time to wind down. Getting good sleep as we age can also help with things like managing weight, improving heart health, and boosting memory. But perhaps most importantly, it can make you feel more at peace. When you wake up feeling rested and energized, your entire day seems brighter and more manageable. Sleep is not a luxury, it's a necessity. So, I encourage you to make a change. Quit the irregular sleep patterns and embrace a routine that works for you. The benefits go far beyond just feeling more awake. You'll see improvements in your mood, your health, and your overall quality of life. Your body will thank you for it, and you'll feel the difference. 11. Quitting comparing yourself to others. One of the most freeing changes I've made in my life is stopping the comparison game. It's so easy to look around and see others who seem to have it all. Better health, more money, more success, and think, why not me? But the truth is, comparing yourself to others only steals your peace and happiness. I used to waste a lot of energy wondering why some people seem to have everything figured out. It's natural to feel that way sometimes, but I've realized that everyone has their own path and struggles, things you don't always see. It's important to remember that you're only seeing a snapshot of someone's life, not the full picture. Rather than measuring your worth against others, think about your own journey. What have you accomplished? What have you learned? Those are the real markers of success, not what someone else is doing or where they're at in their life. I've come to appreciate my progress, my experiences, and the lessons I've learned, even if they don't match up to someone else's timeline or achievements. One of the best ways to stop comparing is to practice self-acceptance. Accept yourself, flaws and all, and recognize that where you are right now is enough. There's no need to measure up to anyone else. We all have different goals, different dreams, and different ways of reaching them. And that's perfectly okay. When you feel tempted to compare yourself, stop and ask yourself, am I really being fair to myself? Remind yourself that your journey is yours alone, and it's beautiful in its own right. Instead of focusing on others, try focusing on the progress you've made. Celebrate the small victories, whether that's learning a new skill, spending time with loved ones, or just being present in the moment. We each have our own pace, and that's what makes life interesting. The real key is to focus on becoming the best version of yourself, not someone else's idea of success. The only person you should be comparing yourself to is the version of yourself from yesterday. Every small step forward is progress, and that's something to be proud of. So let go of the comparisons. You are enough just as you are. Making the choice to quit certain habits and mindsets opens up a world of possibilities. Letting go of things that no longer serve us, whether it's the hustle of work, toxic relationships, or worrying over trivial matters, allows space for things that truly enrich our lives. Living in alignment with what makes us happiest and healthiest is not just for the young. It's for everyone, no matter where you are in life. It's about living intentionally, focusing on what matters, and having the courage to let go of what doesn't. So, ask yourself, what's one thing you can quit today to make your life more fulfilling? Maybe it's a habit you've outgrown or a belief that's been holding you back. Whatever it is, remember, change is a powerful thing, and you have the ability to make it happen. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What change are you ready to make? Drop a comment below and let's start a conversation. Your journey is unique, and I'm sure others will be inspired by your story. Thank you for being here, and remember, it's never too late to make the changes that will bring you more peace, joy, and fulfillment.